100%.
He's stuck
It's Groundhog Day!
in Groundhog Day.
I'm reliving the same day over and over.
Bill?
Ned Ryerson?
Bing!
Do you ever have deja vu, Mrs. Lancaster?
I don't think so, but I could check with the kitchen.
Well, it's Groundhog Day. Again?
At first,
It's Groundhog Day again, or at least that's how it feels. Day 17, Mr. Beast $1 Million Puzzle, February 26th. Hint number 18 is live. I'm going to look back at this entire challenge after it's done and probably talk about how fun it was and all of that stuff. But for the time being, it does feel like I'm just living the same day over and over. Hopefully I don't get copyrighted on YouTube for that movie clip. One person commented and told me they liked the movie clips, so that's enough for me to keep letting them rip. Those are mostly just for me, though. February 26th, guys, if I was a used car salesman, I would maybe be trying to sell you guys on how, groundbreaking today's hint is and stuff like that, but you know me, I'm going to tell you like it is. I feel like we didn't get a ton today. I think this is going to be a quick stream, but we'll see. Midweek, Wednesday, Thursday, it just always feels like such a slog. Like we just get these like teeny tiny clues in the middle of the week, and if you're working like me during Monday through Friday, then you just get exhausted by that point of the week too. So maybe it's kind of nice in that sense. But let's take a look. February 26th, things come into focus as players tear apart the end stages of the hunt. There's a lot of conversation about which places this game focuses on. So we definitely still think like maybe the end puzzle is locations in some way, shape, or form. In the beginning, we were told every challenge leads towards a location name. So he's saying there's a lot of conversation about which places the game focuses on. As of our latest update to BSpot, it will tell you what continent each puzzle's answer sits on. So talked about this yesterday. BSpot is now telling us that puzzle's in Asia, that puzzle's in Europe. But if you've been using BSpot, you know that you have no idea what BSpot is responding to half the time, and it's like you're having like one conversation and then it goes to something else, and you don't know if like what keyword led to it telling you this continent. So it just gets super confusing to me. I think I've seen people in Discord kind of saying similar sentiment. That only works if you create a puzzle card for a puzzle and describe it in such a way that Slackbot understands what puzzle you're describing. Tell Slackbot what you know, and Slackbot will help you pinpoint your answers. And if you think you have a final answer, you should make sure you think it's right. So we've kind of already been doing this with the puzzle cards, submitting them to Slackbot, getting BSpot to respond, getting various clues as the puzzle's gone on. So that's nothing new there. This line on the bottom stood out to me, and I've seen some discussion on it. People said, so it says, if you think you have a final answer, you should make sure you think it's right. Not make sure it's right, but make sure you think it's right. Which is just super interesting wording. As usual, it feels intentional anytime you word something in a weird way. I've seen people speculate that this is like talking about how many final answer guesses you get to do. In the beginning, people were able to like spam them a bit more, and now it seems like they're limiting how many they're letting you do now. So this might be like, hey, we're limiting answers, so if you think you have one, like make sure it's right. Don't just like spam every possible combination of letters you can think of. But the other way to interpret this is that if you have a final answer, you should make sure you think it's right, like relating to this up here about Slackbot, like saying if you think you have a final answer, you should check with Slackbot to make sure. And we know that Slackbot has like given us different pieces of the puzzle, links to the Sudoku, different stuff like that. So maybe like something does have to be submitted to Slackbot, and like that would unlock it, is what this is saying. That was at least my initial read of it, but like I said, a lot of people have kind of been leaning more towards them limiting the number of final answers you can submit. And I've seen people say like, that's not fair, like people in the beginning got to submit hundreds of answers, and now I can only do 20 a day or something like that. And like, I get it, I get the complaint, but people who are submitting thousands of answers on day one, like they were wrong, they were wasting their time, they never had a chance, or had a 0.0000001% chance, probably less than that even, of getting it right. So I'm not necessarily, I wouldn't be like, oh, this isn't fair, because if anything, maybe this just implies that like we are about to get a hint that gets us closer to, say, like the format of the final answer, to where people could just start spamming and have like more of a pointed, guess of what it actually could be. And so the fact that they're letting us guess less, letting us do less guesses, means that like we're actually getting closer and we're about to have a big hint. Maybe that's cope. But let's get down to hint 18. Trips by car, trips by horse, and trips by plane require different puzzle solving skills. So on the Beast Travel website, we know that each of these puzzles or each of these tabs had different puzzles. So trips by car were these rebus puzzles, trips by horse were cryptic puzzles, and then trips by plane were GeoGuessr puzzles. So required different puzzle solving skills. We separated them into those groups for a reason and put those groups in that order for a reason. You can do that too. Try doing one set at a time and you'll narrow down your options. Then you might see something you haven't seen. So this hint, I think, came pretty late in the day on the 26th. I didn't end up seeing it until like, I don't know, 7 or 8 p.m. Maybe it came out a little bit sooner than that. But I haven't seen a whole lot of discussion into narrowing down the options and seeing anything that you haven't seen. I mean, realistically, like, he's been telling us we're not getting anything new. Like, today's hint feels like it really gave us nothing new. Like, people were definitely already doing this, like looking at each group individually, seeing if there's any patterns there, trying to people have tried every combination of things you can think. So I felt like today's hint was like pretty weak. Like, yeah, it's confirming that we have to do this, but people were already trying it anyway, and I don't think that they've gotten anywhere with it. So to me, this isn't much. I did try to like play around with it myself just to see if anything stuck out, and we could take a look at that. I mean, I'm still pretty stuck on what we're doing with this, where any of this leads to. It's just like, what am I even doing with myself half the time? Just wasting time, it feels like. But so this website that I think I mentioned yesterday, Netlify, someone had posted this in Discord. I think it was Jason Schwartz, maybe, by JS Jason. So shout out to him. But it lets you grab different locations, plot them on this globe, and then you can kind of see, like, if I uncheck all these, and I just look at like one at a time, right? Like, let's do this one to start. You can see that these 3 locations, so Seoul, and then here in Turkey, and then the Ivory Coast, they all exist on this great circle that we think we're supposed to be mapping these in some way, shape, or form. So these ones perfectly line up. I think the red ones that you see are like just a little bit off, like somewhere, like maybe, oh, that's way too zoomed in. I probably should have looked at one at a time, but I did look at one of them earlier, and it was like one of the dots was like a little bit off. Like, you could see the vision, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't like perfectly on a line. I mean, some of these are like pretty perfect. So what's this one? It's 2 places in Portugal. Of course, those are going to line up. And then over here on, where's the third? Egypt. Oh my god, so this one's not even close, dude. What are we talking about here? Egypt's down here. Hello? Alright, well, I was looking at these earlier, and they were looking pretty decent for the most part. I guess the red ones probably are just wrong if they're not. I mean, this is like ring tolerance, right? So if I went up to like 0.99, I guess that'd be like higher tolerance. What if I went to like 0.01? Oh, okay, no, that is the other way. So if I go 0.99, this one that's red, I mean, that one's definitely has to be wrong. I got these from Discord. What did I do? Which server was I in? I think I was in this one, and I just searched like Accra, and people have been posting these different combos. Accra, boat, E. So what was the one that I just had that was like way off? It was Nazir Coast, Castello Branco. Again, I'm getting deeper in this. I still don't even know like what I'm doing here, but let's just see. So people have these lists. These are pretty seems like a lot of these are right. As we can see, they're probably not all perfect, but so what was I doing? Portugal. Why can't I see it? Nazir Coast, Costa La Branco, Portugal, Cairo, Egypt. So this must be who I got it from. That one can't be. That can't be one. That can't be right. What does this person have? Arc 1, Arc 2. What is the one with? I guess I'm looking for Costa La Branco in the middle. They go from Accra. They go from Accra to Costa La Branco to Iceland. So people are way off on some of these. I feel like actually that's what I had looked at earlier. When I went to go start stream, I like had to restart my PC and I lost all my progress in this doc. I wish that I could like save what I put in here. But someone said, what did they say? They said Iceland and what was the other one? Accra, which is already used somewhere else. Where is Accra? I'm just gonna Control F it. I'm getting way too deep into this puzzle right now, and it probably is all for naught. But let me just see if I do just those. Now I'm getting green, and I'll lower this ring tolerance to like a 0.2. I think that's what they default to. So these ones are on a line. Like that's a now we're talking lines. So these ones in the middle here, these I should have explained that. What I did was I grabbed the trips by horse, these 9. I grabbed the 9 locations that those solved to and put them in the middle. And then I just grabbed from people who are smarter than me their list of what they think these great circles are. I then started to put them on this map based on just that group of 9, thinking that that's what he means by doing one set at a time. I guess he also said like put them in this order, so like 1, 2, 3. I'm kind of starting with the second one. Maybe that's a stupid idea, but my hope was that like once I put all these together, it was gonna lead to something, which it kind of doesn't seem. I mean, I might even have 2 of these wrong still. But one thing I was noticing was that like certain things were being used twice, like potentially Iceland being used twice, Lower Hutt, New Zealand being used twice, Accra, Ghana being used twice, Ivory Coast being used twice. So that makes me think that maybe there is like supposed to be some path where it's like, say it, it start like one would the one that ends Lower Hutt, New Zealand. Now the next one would start there and then go from there. I don't know if there's something like that. It still doesn't make sense. Like our math we said was not mathing on the number of these that we have and the number of blank spots. I don't think the website got many updates, but maybe they filled out a couple more of these rows, I think. Yeah, I definitely don't think we had as many of these yesterday. They might have given us like 1 or 2 more. It's not a lot for today. I have no idea if any of this mapping is worth anything. I mean, he told us to keep doing what we're doing, and it seems like a lot of people were hot on this theory of mapping out these circles, but I have no idea what any of this could mean. Like they don't all intersect in one spot. Nothing sticks out to me of like this is what you should be doing. So I can give you guys a link to this if you wanted to play around with it, but to me not a lot there, or at least like I played around. I mean, I spent a lot of time on it. I just feel like I'm wasting my time looking at it, because it's like even if I got these all green, like what am I doing with these? Like what? Like I still have no idea why I'm even doing this. I'm just doing it because like I kind of think it's loosely something. I don't know. We take a look at Retrocraft's doc. Definitely seems like the progress has slowed down on here a little bit. No hate to Retrocraft because they've just been carrying the load for this entire puzzle. So we just haven't gotten much. I don't think that like he's slacking necessarily on updating this. It's just like we're not getting many updates in general anymore. This is definitely I always forget I can't copy paste. Open theorizing. They have stuff down here of stuff that they're not sure about. Like we know we were supposed to do something with those captions underneath the pictures. A lot of people want to ask about this. What do these captions mean? What are these words? Why are they all 12 letters, alphabetical order? So he has like theory crafting down here. The length is fixed at 12. The real English words, very obscure. probably an indexing puzzle, just as to figuring out how to derive K. The words are in alphabetical order. Puzzle order cannot be relevant. They created the puzzles, then sorted them in alphabetical order, which means the original order is lost. Maybe the original order must be uncovered. That's interesting. I never thought about that. Options for order. I guess just different ways you can look at it. What is variable? The position, the answer. This stuff's all way over my head, but if you're good at puzzle solving, this probably all makes sense to you. Try D, color index. Colors are prominent but aren't used yet. And then they tried to like index the words and just said nope. So people are trying different stuff with this. I just haven't seen anything concrete. We know we're supposed to be doing something, but it's like, what are we doing? Beast files have been getting updated actually quite a bit. I've seen a lot of people in here throwing out ideas for like potential triplets and trying to solve this stuff that we're getting where, you know, like I said, a lot of the well is dried up in a sense of people sharing stuff now that we're maybe getting close to the end. So it's just nice to see other people that are like in here sharing. Someone's still mentioning the airport codes, potential triplets, a bunch on here. I just like to see all the people like working together in here. It's just like, I don't know, it's wholesome that people are still working together and not just hiding it. Can't blame them that they are hiding it either, but what are they saying down here? So clue number, I'm just going to read this. Clue number 17 saying you won't need to use the first part, middle part. Does that mean we will use a boat, an object, and then a boat, and then the boat that was on the end is a starting boat on the next line? Yeah, I could see that just where, like I was saying, it seems like some of them repeat, like Ivory Coast, Ghana, like different spots in the same group seem to be connecting potentially on those circles. Which means that the last boat on line 40, how would that math work out? Because you would need 40. Yeah, I don't know. The math still wouldn't work out there. Does that mean the last boat on line 40 will be the first boat on line 1 to make one giant ring around the world? Get set of triplets by plotting locations on Google Earth and then see if they lie on the same geodesic in line with each other. For example, plot a path on Google Earth. I think it's simply saying that the volcano in Iceland will be used more than once, but I do like your theory. Yeah, wait, where did I see? I thought someone had a theory in here about the volcano. Maybe it got cut off. I remember reading it earlier. Did I just literally skip over it? Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, they had some theory about the volcano that I can't. Maybe it is right here. I don't know. Either way, good conversations happening in this doc. Nothing that really has stuck out to me as being that important. I think the well is just dry. I think it's Groundhog Day, another day of just them just giving us nothing and expecting us to win $1 million with it. Like I said, this is fun. I have to remind myself that we're trying to win $1 million. We're having fun, but it's just like days like these, you're just like, all right, I guess I should just like take today off and just like not even exert any mental energy on this puzzle. Lone Shark Games, B-Sky, they said hint number 18 and the $1 million puzzle just dropped. Trips by car, trips by horse, and trips by plane are grouped that way for a reason. I always feel like the social media like summarizes the hints in a good way. I'm just gonna like steal their language here for the summary. We do without formatting. Yeah, nothing. It's just the same like daily posts. That was a response. They said it's snapping into focus. Yeah, I did. Things come into focus. Like it's more word. Like the words remind me of like taking a picture with a camera, getting it into focus, snapping a picture, like snapping into focus. I don't know if we have to take a picture of something. I don't know if, you know, it's visualizing something, but all these clues have been leading me to think that there is very, like, something that we're doing with these locations is going to be visually, like, I don't know if it's, you know, the way that they'll connect and it'll spell out a word, or if they'll all, when you see the big picture, it'll look like a picture or something. I have no idea, but the way he's wording these make me think that that could be the case. But nothing else really on social media. YouTube comments, been getting some good YouTube comments. This person said 7 days, loving the content. Really appreciate that. I definitely do get down on just like my motivation with this puzzle. So when people do say nice things, it makes me really happy. So thank you, Spare Dragon. This person said they blocked my email and deleted my account with all of my progress after I wrote asking if they can extend screen timeout time and requesting clarity on final answer amount per set time limitation. They have yet to contact me for a response. My next plan is to send a physical letter. That sounds super annoying. I've seen people in Discord be like, yeah, I had to make 5 accounts. Like, I keep having to make a new account, getting in trouble for this or that. I haven't had any issues with my own account. I'm also not on BSpot every day, or if I am, it's like only for like a couple minutes because I just like get tired of it quick. Like, I just can't handle it sometimes. But yeah, that's super unfortunate that you've had that happen. Like I said, I think other people have had it. Hopefully they're not just like banning people for, you know, spamming or trying to like submit as many answers as they can, whatever it might be. But Adam said, I'm so far down the rabbit hole, I really need help. My theory is a volcano in Iceland, Titanic hoop rhymes with volcano group, volcanic group, Titanic, volcanic. Yeah, he's not wrong about that. 7 circles equal tectonic plates. I believe every location has a volcano and 13 places associated with the Ring of Fire or Mid-Atlantic Ridge where the volcano in Iceland is, Antarctica. This is definitely like a super good theory. I like this a lot. I can see Titanic hoop, volcanic group. We know we have that volcano. Is that how many how many? I feel like there's got to be more than 7 tectonic plates. Am I wrong? How many tectonic plates are there? Just 7. 7 major ones. All right. Wow. 8 minor plates. Gotcha. I was gonna say there has to be more. 57. The number of plates is not universally agreed upon. Okay, so that's interesting. I was thinking more like, yeah, like 50 or 60, but that's like talking micro plates. So 7 major tectonic plates. I mean, that's what comes up. But then even some people say 8, 7, so that makes you feel less good about it. But other than that, I definitely think they're cooking with that theory. He said trip by Romy is an excursion, which means to return back where you started. Is that what excursion means? And did he say the excursion? Excursion, a short journey. Yeah, it's like when you go on a cruise and then they're like, you take an excursion to like swim with the dolphins and then you come back. So yeah, you definitely like come back. Did he say the word excursion? I don't necessarily remember it, but okay. He's now offering excursions in our Trip by Romy program. Yeah, so that makes sense. Yeah, you come back to where you started type of thing, and it all connects with these paths. I mean, it's a half-baked theory, but I definitely like what they were saying with that. Russell said, did anyone have success with the clues from the captions? I played with words in Slackbot, and the stupid thing couldn't even properly check the designated number. I would say check all the 7th letters, and sometimes it would miscount, maybe give me the 10th letter instead. So I tried my own, came up blank on the capture clue, and haven't heard or seen anything about it online. Yeah, the version of Slackbot that they gave us definitely seemed limited in what it could do. I think that we're not even using like the top version that they have for this. So you probably are better off doing something like that with ChatGPT, or whatever Gemini, whatever AI you want to use. But I have no idea. Like I said, there's the theory crafting thing or the theorizing in Retrocraft's document, but I haven't seen anyone say what to do with those captions from the Beast Travel website. Other YouTube comments. Perhaps it's best to go back to day 1, see what the clues were then. There were 24 locations available, and he said it was solvable from then. Yeah, that's a great point as well. He's saying in the beginning we had 24 just based on like the videos or something. Yeah, I'm not going to necessarily do it right now, but it does make me think like, if we just go back through these things again, maybe there's certain like notes that really should be sticking out, or like he's saying this whole like direct path theory that people had, that it was solvable from day 1, the day of the Super Bowl commercial. So just see what we had then and let's just work with that and try to figure it out, because at least we know we have everything we need in theory for that, versus solving it the way we're solving it now. Like, we're getting little crumbs from Mr. Beast and we don't have everything. So I like that. Spare Dragon, like I said, thank you very much. Sono said, the more they say, the more it's feeling like a major troll. Totally agree. It really is like one step forward, two steps back with these hints, especially middle of the week. Maybe that's just me because I get just exhausted from work and life and everything else. But I feel like come Wednesday, Thursday, I'm just like, I'm thinking exactly this. Like, am I just being trolled? Like, what am I doing here? The boats are like on Romy, the colors of Haley rings. What are Haley rings? This can't be what they mean. Surely it doesn't mean Haley Bieber's ring. Is it like Haley's Comet or Haley No, that's rings. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know what they mean by that. But they did just give us some other. This person just posted another comment that seemed helpful. So maybe this helps somebody out there. I don't know what they mean by it necessarily. Adam, we read that. He said you don't need first two examples on, need last example to complete Romy. Trip by Romy is not a puzzle. It's to be used to put everything you have in your vault according to tips. I getcha, but it did seem like a puzzle to me. That feels like semantics. This was interesting. So nobody saw the board game on the sleeping bag in the tent in the pyramid video. Then they see Nolan eating the Feastable, but not his hand, holding this symbol the entire time, dressed like a military dude in the grenade scene. What did I respond to this? I said, yeah, I don't know what this means, but it sounds important. If you win with this hint, be sure to send us 50K. Good luck, everyone. Obviously, like I said, I think again it's actually against the rules to like ask for money. I'm sure that they were just, joking when they said that, so they're not breaking the rules here. But if this does help anyone, maybe run with it. I have no idea what they mean by that genuinely, but doesn't mean that it's not a hint or something important. So good luck with that. Locations have changed. I think we read all that stuff. So that's all I got for YouTube comments. We'll take a little look-see at Discord and see what the people are up to. Is Shane part of the puzzle? I mean, he did say real life people could be part of the puzzle. I have no idea. When does the daily limit reset? Yeah, a lot of people are talking about this daily reset now. Titanic Hoop. Puzzle cards we know went up from 200 to 500. See if anything sticks out. Oh, what did I have over here? Someone posted something funny in Discord. I don't know if I'm gonna find it again, but they were like, yep, puzzle solved. And they posted this, which is just like all these different like location names and stuff. Like if I can find it, I'll give credit to whoever posted this. But it's like, yep, puzzle solved. Like this is what's going on in my brain right now. Like it's like I have no idea. I'm just like putting locations down and putting dots on a globe and writing names down. And it's like, what are we doing here? So I thought that was super funny. Sometimes it's like, you can go a while in between useful stuff in Discord, so lose track of where the good stuff is. Random anagrams are not puzzles. Locations, what are they saying? I'm gonna be honest, those saying desert, I think it's off and too easy. Yeah, I'm still convinced that like the answer is gonna be something that you hear it like a normal person who did not follow this puzzle at all. Maybe they remember the Super Bowl commercial. Maybe they just know who Mr. Beast is. But I think if you told them the answer to this, they'd be like, whoa, that's so cool. Like, that I could have solved that. Or something like that, to where they're like, that's wicked clever or something. So, confusion. Some points don't align exactly, leaving a few kilometers of margin. Yeah, I was noticing the same. No hint today. No, we did get a hint. Yeah, that must have been earlier. That was at like 6 p.m. Eastern. Lone Shark Games. Not a whole lot going on in there. We go to the serious scavenger hunt. I don't have a good loop for Genoa yet. Problem with the second one, based on the images for line 29. Yo, it's true. Home of peace, home of prayer. Wait, what is this? The motto was wrong. Someone changed something on there was a revision on the wiki. It seemed like a dozen people pointed this out to complain about it. Nobody has reverted to it for some reason. Interesting. So one of the clues, it was like the home of peas. What was it on Beast Travel? It was this one. No. It was this one. The peas. What did we end up saying that this was? We said that furfacious was. The initial thought it was this place in Tanzania. I wrote said not its translation. So did that get changed? What are other people saying for? Where's my? Let me get that GitHub link real quick. 51 locations. What am I even looking for anymore? Who knows? What we're talking about? This was a stage 2 thing. This was the furfacious. Mubi, Nigeria is known as the city of peace. So if I go here and I look at the wiki for it, are people saying the wiki changed? Home of peace. Motto. I don't know what they're talking about, but home of prayer. So, I don't know. That was like that just got updated on the 21st. I have no idea. And it probably is meaningless, so I shouldn't spend time looking at it. Someone says this looks like the thing from the commercial. I disagree, but doesn't mean you're not right. Anything else in here? Trips by Romy. We looked at that. People talking about the new hints later in the day. It's just not much going on right now. Number 20, little degrees of error. I mean, how are we supposed to decide what's a meaningful deviation in terms of the degrees and how much off it is? And I just doesn't feel like this could be the answer, but thank you for your patience. Yeah, this is a person, so shout out to, I think they're on streamer mode. Shout out to Jay in Serious Scavengron, just posted this. This is wicked funny. Great circle nav. Yeah, just nothing sticking out to me. Nothing. It's the middle of the week. I don't think we have much. Mr. Beast scavenger hunt. Yeah, not a lot going on. Let's just see what the voice chat's talking about. You gotta crack car words. Each has a separate order. Ethiopia might loop back. Although I might focus on what I'm doing here. I'll be around. Yes, I think people are just like working on this in small groups, and it's like they don't want to share anything unless they just literally hit a dead end, and they're like, all right, like I don't know what to do with this anymore. Can someone edit the latitude and longitude of these places on Wikipedia? Yeah. Hopefully that's not even relevant to the clue, but that would be crazy if like a piece of info that's needed is like being edited on Wikipedia and then people aren't able to find it or something like that. But I think that's all I have for today. Kind of like a sad day in terms of just like we didn't get much. 2:25. It's not 2:25. It's 2:20. It's actually like it's past midnight, so it's now the 27th. But I'm calling this 2:26. What did we get from today's hint? We got nothing, dude. Things coming into focus. What are this thing? Snapping into focus. The $1 million puzzle is snapping into focus. It's gonna say. Wording continues to imply. Continues to reference things similar to big picture and camera. I don't know. As you update the B-spot, if you think you have an final answer, you should make sure you think it's right. Number of guesses being limited. Maybe this means we're about to get a big hint. Cope. And then also could mean that, you know, the next part of the puzzle could have to be unlocked by submitting something to Slackbot, Bspot. We know that these are. I mean, yeah, this is really all it told us, that they're grouped like that for a reason. The order of them's for a reason, and that's all that we know. Midweek. Let's just call this midweek minimal updates. And I'll just put my expected. I don't have to keep talking about gaslighting myself into thinking this thing's gonna go until April, but sticking with my prediction for the second. Again, maybe it's cope to think that we're getting close to a big hint if they're like now limiting the number of guesses even more, but that's my hope. We do know that usually on the weekend we tend to get bigger clues. I should even look like which day of the week do we get like the biggest clues, but it tends to be the weekend. I think Saturday, Sunday, maybe even Monday we'll get something that's big. And is that going to lead us to the final answer? That's my hope. That's my guess. But maybe it just leads us to a new stage, a new thing we have to solve. I don't know. I'm not positive. So yeah, kind of a sad day of updates. Really just don't have much for right now. But is there any other? Maybe I should copy this guy's link. Mr. Jason, where is your link? This one. If anyone wants to play around with it, call this the. I'm all over the place. Globe mapping link. Shout out Jason. If anyone wants that, that's a link. I could also send it to you. But yeah, that's all I got for notes for right now, guys. Like I said, it's sad. The middle of the week is sad because we just don't get much. Like today, we literally basically got nothing. So hopefully hit number 19 will be better. Hopefully hit number 20 will be even better than that. We shall see. I do have faith, though, that the weekend will let us make a lot more progress. And who knows, we could be 90, 95% of the way there. So, you know, whether you have faith or not, it is important to think that there's at least like a chance of this thing wrapping up soon. So we do have to stay locked in, keep it going, even though every day does feel like Groundhog's Day. Thanks, everyone, for watching. I'm just going to get a YouTube clip going over the updates, even though they're really sad, and take a quick sip of my drink. Also, I want to mention, I went to the grocery store today for the first time, I left my house for the first time in like a couple of days just because the snow here has been so crazy. I went to the grocery store and I was like, dude, like I have to get some soda so I can lock in on the Mr. Beast puzzle. And I went to just go get like a 12 pack of like Mountain Dew Baja Blast, and they didn't have 12 packs, so I literally had to get like a 24 pack of it. And like I love soda. I've never seen this much soda in my life. Like 24 cans is just so much. Like I felt like a criminal walking out with that thing. Like, don't get me wrong, I love soda, so no hate to the soda community, but I felt like a criminal walking out with a 24 pack of soda. Anyways, we have Thursday, February 26th, middle of the week, and that tends to mean minimal updates from the Mr. Beast $1 Million Puzzle. Things coming into focus today. Really didn't get much from Mr. Beast here. As I said on social media and on this page, things are snapping into focus. Just the wording, talking about focus, snapping, they continue to reference things that are similar to like looking at the big picture, or just like stuff that's similar to like camera and taking pictures. So that to me implies that we need to be looking at these locations somewhere where we're looking at like a map or a globe of them and like zooming out and looking for patterns that way. At least that's what like the wording seems to be implying of these hints. He also said, hint 18, if you think you have a final answer, you should make sure you think it's right. A lot of people notice that the number of guesses for the final answers are being limited more than they were in the beginning. Personally, I'm not worried about that. If someone got to submit 1,000 answers on day one and they were wrong, like good for them, they wasted their time. I don't think it's unfair that they're now limiting the number of guesses. To me, and this could be cope, but I think maybe it means we're about to get a big hint to where if he gives us the formatting of the final answer or something like that, now we could, in theory, just like start spamming stuff. So now they're being like, hey, let's limit the number of guesses preemptively because we're about to get a big hint. It's probably cope. It's could just be that like legal reasons, or they were getting too much spam, or it could be something stupid. So probably cope there. The other interpretation I had is that the next part of the puzzle could have to be unlocked by something, by submitting something to Slackbot. So like if you think it's right, you know, put your answer into Slackbot, BSpot, and then you'll unlock something, maybe a new link, a new puzzle, a new hint, something. But it definitely seems like this is the prominent theory, is that it's just they're talking about if you think you have a final answer, make sure you think it's right, because we're not just letting you spam a million guesses anymore. Trips by car, trips by horse, and trips by plane are grouped that way for a reason. So today's hint also told us that each of the pages from the Beast Travel website that had the rebus puzzles, that had the cryptic puzzles, and that had the GeoGuessr puzzles, they're in that order for a reason. They're in those groups for a reason. We need to be looking at these groups individually. That was like kind of the big thing from today's hint, which I think a lot of people were already doing that anyway. Now he's just confirming that that's what you should be doing. So not a big hint, unfortunately. I'm sticking with my predictive finish date of March 2nd, which would be Monday of next week. I think that it's entirely possible we do get a big hint soon, but I could be coping, and this thing could have a lot more time to it. I also shared this link here, this globe mapping link that Jason shared in Discord, where you can throw stuff on a globe, you can map it out, you can see if stuff connects with a great circle around it. What do you do with this once you do it? I have no idea. Is this important? Does this matter for anything? Probably not. But if you want to do it, you can do it. And that's what people have been doing for the most part. This is a really useful tool that helps you do it. So I can share that with you as well. That's all I got for today. Like I said, midweek, minimal updates. I do think over the weekend we're going to get some big hints soon, but not a whole lot for today. So that's all I got for right now.